Hey everyone, Jackie, your fellow parent of school-age kids in Florida. It is great to just jump in here live and do this video and have it available for replay. So if you're joining me for replay, please comment and let me know how you like the video, if you have further questions. But I have just been asked by 3 people today, why did we pick the school we picked? And I will not be afraid to tell you the reasons why. And if you know me, which you may or may not, I greatly researched schools. Business and board meetings and living that kind of corporate life. I became a parent. So parenting was very new to me. I grew up with one parent, so I don't know what it's like to have 2 parents, especially that love each other. That's my husband and I. We are greatly in love and we co-parent. We are equally parents. It's not like I'm the stay-at-home mom. It's all my job and so forth. So he is wonderful in being there as well. So that gives you a little bit of background there. And again, for me, I am very particular on the school and curriculum we use. When we first realized we had to do homeschool or school in the home, I freaked out because that's not my thing. You know, if you wanted to send me to a board meeting or do a presentation, I'm there. But to teach my kid how to read and write and math and history, I'm really scared about that. So it is important for me to make sure I have the right resources, because educating the future, our children, is a very huge responsibility that can be stressful. So, long story short, virtual school was my option and was my solution. We were blessed for the first 5.5 years of schooling in the home to have a Florida virtual option. There are many Florida virtual options. You may not even understand that. Because I know when I first started to register, I thought I was registering with this Florida option, and I ended up registering with this virtual Florida option. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise. Again, 5.5 years of me just saying this is the best solution ever, and that still is an amazing solution. But the state has had a lot of requirements on that particular option that it got very stressful, 1 for the school and 2 for us parents. And so it was a really tough decision to change, and I have another video on why we made a change. It was a public virtual option, which mean that we had to redo the state testing. I'm not pro or con state testing. That's a whole nother video probably. But overall, it just wasn't going to work for us. We travel, and we literally flew home for FSAs for my kids, so I know what it's like. Anyway, this year, this past school year, we're about to finish this year. It's school year 17-18, and with this school year, I had to make the decision. We did. And so our 3 elementary school kids are in Flex Elementary. Our middle school student is also in Flex Middle School, Florida Virtual School Flex. Flex is for those who do homeschool. Now, we don't really homeschool. We are part of what would be called a private school, also coined as an umbrella school. Now, an umbrella school doesn't really exist. An umbrella school is not really a school. It's just a coined phrase for those who school in the home, for those who want to hide under a private option and not deal with the district. So most people who homeschool register with their district with home education and do a letter of intent to their district. I actually have done that. I did my letter of intent, sent it in, but once I realized at the time, 7 years ago, when I was going to do the Florida virtual option, it was a public school option. So then I had to terminate my letter of intent at that time, and then I did the public school version of Florida, Florida virtual school. Is currently now called Florida Cyber Charter Academy, using the K-12 incorporated curriculum. It is top-notch. I think it is great. The staff is great. The school is great. We currently are not using them because of the requirements imposed by the state for that option and the school itself. It just was too much for our traveling family and for our schooling needs. So now we have a new option. And wonderfully, last year, the House bill had passed and allowed our elementary kids to join Florida Virtual School Flex. Now, to get out of the public school, Florida, it was a Florida virtual option that I had talked about, the Cyber Charter Academy. In order to get that gone. I had a withdrawal from it. I withdrew from that school. We are out of public school. We then enrolled in a private school. The private school that we chose is Aspiring Heights Academy out of Sarasota County, Florida. My family lives in Duval County. We don't live in Sarasota, but it's totally fine. Believe me, I researched this for about 2.5 years before we actually did it. It just seemed too good to be true for all these things to fall in place and to still remain legal and abiding by the rules and laws of the state of Florida. In fact, I had interviewed Nance, that runs and directs and founded Florida Unschoolers. Okay. She is an amazing person. Matter of fact, I think we all have her to thank for our private umbrella options out there. She is absolutely amazing. Florida Unschoolers is another option of a private school, umbrella school to do your homeschool under. Now, the question is this. Why did we choose Aspiring Heights Academy over other schools like Hillcrest? I believe it was Applewood, and there's Florida Unschoolers, and there are actually many other schools. I will tell you this, because I saw in another video actually too, is to make sure your school is registered with the state, and many of those that I listed are. I think all of them are actually. Then look at how they retain their records, because with these schools being they're legitimate private schools. So when you go to the FLDOE, Florida Department of Education's website, look under private schools. And these private umbrella schools, or they're called 600 schools, another name for them, they are required, just the minimal requirement by the state of Florida from the age of 6 to 16, your child is supposed to have an attendance at a school. So if your child is between the age of 6 to 16, and you're not in a public school and you need to stay legal so you don't get arrested, make sure you're submitting to the state attendance. So I wanted to find a solution for that. And I looked at all these schools. I had them all in front of me, and I was looking at them, pros and cons, and looked at their websites. And again, like I told you, I interviewed Nance heavily on her school, the whole Florida umbrella school. I just was so confused, and it seemed too good to be true. So what I did was, again, I looked at them all. And the reason Aspiring Heights Academy kind of appealed to me was a few things. Number one, I really liked the resources on their website. Their website was so intense and so wonderful that a lot of my frequently asked questions were answered immediately on the website. The sister site that is also run by our school's director is called I Am Homeschooling. It is an amazing resource. Anyone can use it. You don't have to be an Aspiring Heights Academy family to be using the site. Number two, I was really, really impressed with how they retained our child's information. You're giving somebody your child's birth certificate, your child's records, shot record. You're giving your child all your information, social security number, all this information. And then for some schools it was quarterly. For our school, it's annually. They record attendance. And again, how this was retained and filed meant a lot to me. And the staff at Aspiring Heights Academy basically run the school how I would run it. So that gave me a little extra, like, this is our school. Everything was so on point with every email, with phone calls, with the whole process. It just gave me this extra comfort. It has a small fee. The first year it has a fee, and the re-enrollment year, it goes down. And that same fee is what most people pay for their annual review. I don't know of any annual reviews that are free unless you have a friend that's a registered teacher, a certified teacher with a license in Florida. But most of the homeschoolers have to do an annual review. I just recently learned that some don't. The district's totally fine with you giving them the transcript, the unofficial transcript from FLVS, full-time or flex. Didn't know that, just learned it. So Aspiring Heights Academy, I just was impressed with how they kept their records, with all the information and resources they give, because that's how I, as you can't tell, I love sharing information. It's just, I'm very passionate about letting all parents know, you're not right, I'm not right. Everyone needs to find a solution that works for their family. So again, I may or may not have fully answered questions out there as to why we picked Aspiring Heights Academy over other schools, but I really was impressed with how the school records were kept. Using Google Forms is, to me, kind of risky. I have a Gmail account. It took me a long time before I submitted to Google information like that, because they share their information with so many resources. But once I got down to my kids, their birth certificates and all this information, I really wanted to be wise about it. And I cannot tell you enough about how Aspiring Heights Academy has wonderfully done this for us. So again, the fee is probably what I would pay for a portfolio review that now I don't need and have to do. Excuse me, let me get some water. And then I really enjoyed, like, oh, it said the resources already. What else am I? So, oh, I know. After we were registered, we were given an ID card. I have this great ID card with my kids' photos on it, saying that they're a student. I have one as well. We use them for homeschool discounts, for school discounts. I can use my little educator card also for maybe some teacher discounts. We're actually not in Florida very often, so I don't get to use them that often. But when we do come home, I have used them, and they are wonderful. Again, there's just so many things. I'm sure these other schools are fantastic. But again, for me, for my peace of mind and from my business background, I was really, really impressed with what happens at Aspiring Heights Academy. Plus, with the option to have a diploma later on in high school, you can do a registration for a high school diploma. You can also have pay a little extra for an official transcript. There's just other options. You don't have to have them. Again, I pay right now, currently, the minimal option. I just have 3 grade schoolers. I'm learning more and more as the time goes. Those aren't so more important as it is in high school. Those 4 years of high school, the credits received, the grades received are really what's key for high school, or excuse me, for college enrollment and other scholarships and things. Middle school is still important. You get your feet in the door. And the last tidbit I will share is that because we're with a private school, we have much more flexibility with my kids' curriculum. Right now, I have next year, I'll have an incoming 4th grader. And Flex, FLVS Flex, is going to have a new option for individual courses. Currently, this school year, 17-18, you have music. You have math and science combined together. You have language, arts, and social studies together. The 4 core classes are grouped into 2 groups. Well, next year, you'll actually have each of those separate. Well, the beauty of it all for me and my incoming 4th grader is that she's pretty advanced in some courses and maybe not advanced in others. So because I have a private school and my guidance counselor is the director of Aspiring Heights Academy, I can just fill out some information. She directed me and helped me understand what to say and what to do, is I can actually give approval for my 4th grader to possibly take 5th grade classes, maybe even 6th grade classes. So this really gives us so much flexibility and control. Who doesn't want control? Control in our kids' curriculum. Again, my 7th grader now will be coming into 8th grade. And I believe and I know that she can take some high school courses. And in fact, she did last year. For Spanish, they didn't have a middle school teacher. So I had asked if it was available to do the Spanish 1 high school class in FLVS Flex. Again, we have chosen FLVS Flex as our curriculum. In Aspiring Heights Academy, if you're a student in a family with Aspiring Heights Academy, you can choose whatever curriculum you want. You can unschool, you can deschool, you can whatever's life school, you can use all the different curricula out there. That's up to you. Again, control. Who doesn't want control? So it's just, again, my heart, what is it called? I can go to sleep at night with peace in my heart, knowing that our kids' information is safe, that we're with a school that has great information and resources, who make it very simple. All I do now is submit an annual attendance. Once a year, just submit my annual attendance. Then I re-enroll next year, and that's it. There are some other state requirements because it is a private school. You do need the immunization record up to date depending on what grades they're in. You do need that first, I think it's a physical as well. And so again, when you re-enroll, you're really set. I hope this helps you. If you have more questions, if this video answers your questions, great. Give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. But if this video makes you have more questions or even confuses your whole thing, comment below and let me know, Jackie. I need a new video on other options because I'm not anti the other schools. I'm not against them. I don't have a grudge. I don't have a preference. I just went with what worked for our family, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to pick the school option for you: public school, private school, homeschool. I want you to pick the curriculum that works for you, whether it's, again, public school curriculum, whether it's your own homeschool curriculum you purchase, you go to a store, you find one online. There are many of them. Or if you do the other free option, Florida Virtual School Flex. There's also Florida Virtual School Full-Time, which is public school, again, if you want public school. But our family has chosen Florida Virtual Flex, and the elementary school for 2018-2019 is going to have 3 options: full-time, Flex Traditional, and the new option will be Flex Individual Courses. Okay. I'm going to complete this video now. Where's my button? And tell you, thank you so much for all the new subscriptions. Thank you so much for watching. And again, your comments, your questions will keep fueling the videos I post. So message me and I will keep researching and shoot out all the information to you. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Mwah. Bye-bye.